Imagine you're the greatest MotoGP rider in history. 9 world titles, millions of fans. You are basically a religion in Italy. And then a 20-year-old kid from Cervera shows up, steals your spotlight, and you decide, you know what, I'm gonna end him. Not on the track, off it, in public, in front of 400 million viewers. That's exactly what Valentino Rossi did. And the craziest part, he nearly pulled us off. Look.
Márquez, it's 6 years since he won from pole position, but Valentino Rossi reignites the hopes of millions of fans around the world. The doctor delivers in Holland. Valentino was too far in front and came to the apex.
I'm not here to tell you who was right or who was wrong. I'm here to tell you what actually happened, why it was way more calculated than most people realize, and why this rivalry literally split a sport in two. Buckle up. Here's the thing nobody talks about. Rossi and Márquez actually liked each other once. When Marc burst onto the Premier class in 2013, Rossi called him a future champion, practically rolled out a red carpet. They joked in press conferences, shared laughs at paddock events. It was wholesome. It was adorable. It was also very temporary. Think of it like two dogs sharing a backyard. Peaceful enough, until one of them starts eating the other's food. And in 2014, Márquez started eating everything, but the friendship didn't just cool down, it curdled, and what killed it wasn't racing. It was one specific season, one specific moment, and one very specific conspiracy theory that Rossi pushed to the entire world. Rossi is 36. He's leading the championship, some kind of immortal Italian deity. Márquez, his biggest threat, is out of title contention. Logic says Marc has zero reason to race hard against Rossi anymore. Logic, apparently, did not attend the Malaysian Grand Prix. At Sepang, Rossi accuses Márquez, publicly, in front of cameras, in front of the world, of deliberately helping Jorge Lorenzo beat Rossi to the title. He claims Marc is acting as Lorenzo's wingman, his actual wingman, in a motorsport where everyone is trying not to die. It was the sporting equivalent of calling your boss a spy at a company meeting, except the meeting was televised and had 400 million people watching.
A race down
And
the
then
straight,
Rossi
over the
did
start
something
finish line. Here
that
comes
made the whole
Valentino
thing
Rossi
10 times
off the
worse.
inside of
He
Márquez,
didn't
but
just talk,
Márquez
he
holds
acted.
firm.
And what
The
happened
master,
next
the doctor
almost
is coming
ended
through
Marc
and he
Márquez's
goes up
season.
into
And
second
nearly
place.
his
Can
life.
he make it
Sepang
stick?
race
He
day.
has done.
The tension is
Classic
nuclear.
riding by the
Mid-race,
doctor. He
Rossi
is
and
back. He
Márquez
is
get
back
tangled
big
up on
style.
track.
Here comes
And
Rossi and Márquez
nine-time
right
world
in beside him.
champion,
Márquez
living
going for the
legend,
outside line
man
now.
dash,
Downs
who
into
dash should
turn
dash,
one.
no dash
Rossi
better.
surely will fight
Kicks
back on the
Marc's
brakes.
bike.
Márquez
On
is
track
brave and
at
hangs it in
200
on the
kilometers
outside.
per
And
hour.
Márquez is
Márquez
back.
goes down.
Oh, he's been
Rossi
short
gets
to
a
lesser, but
penalty.
served it
The title
straight back.
goes to
The ball's
Lorenzo.
in your
The
court
internet
again,
exploded.
Valentino. It's the older
Half the
generation
MotoGP
against the
world
new
called
generation.
Rossi a
Rossi
dirty
again
cheat.
alongside
The
him
other
in turn
half called
four.
it justified
Rossi back into
and basically
second.
canonized
We ride with
him.
Márquez. That's
There were
Rossi in front of him as
protests.
they're coming
There
up
were
towards the
literal diplomatic
corkscrew.
incidents.
Is Márquez going to make a move
Spanish
at the
fans
corkscrew in
burned
these
Rossi
early stages?
merchandise.
Goes around the
Italian fans
outside,
built
Rossi
shrines.
though. Will try and come
There was
back on
less
the inside.
motorsport rivalry
Oh,
and
then
more
Márquez
international
goes through
crisis
on
with
the
helmet
inside
sponsors.
of the corkscrew.
But here's the
Valentino
question
Rossi
nobody could
memorial
answer.
line for
Was
Márquez that
Márquez
time,
actually
but he
cheating?
held off
Or
the
was
attack.
Rossi the greatest of all time?
Márquez's ability,
Just
but you
wrong
can't
and
wrap
paranoid.
people. It's
The
that
truth
kind
is
of
darker than
corner
either side
where it
wants
does
to admit.
suck you into
Quickly.
trying that manoeuvre.
If you're the kind of person who loves deep dives into the stories behind MotoGP that the highlight reels don't show you, hit subscribe. We do this every week. It's free. Your algorithm will thank you. Let's be real. Was Marc Márquez helping Lorenzo? Almost certainly not. What Marc was doing was racing hard, which is kind of his whole thing. But Rossi, at 36, watching a kid half his age dominate, was experiencing something far more human than scheming. Cognitive bias, When you're losing to someone you believe you should beat, your brain starts manufacturing reasons why the game is rigged. It's not weakness, it's just psychology. We all do it. You've blamed Lag for losing at FIFA. Rossi blamed Márquez for losing a championship. The difference is, Rossi had a microphone and 400 million people listening. That's not just bad sportsmanship, that's weaponized narrative. And that narrative had consequences. Consequences that echoed through the paddock for years, shaped team decisions, divided fan bases, and arguably contributed to one of the most devastating crashes in MotoGP history. The Rossi-Márquez Cold War didn't just fade out after 2015. It festered. 4 years, they barely spoke. Fan tribalism got toxic. Sponsorship deals, team dynamics, even race steward decisions were viewed through the lens of this rivalry. Every incident involving either rider became a proxy war. And then in 2020, Marc suffered a catastrophic crash at Jerez.
But a number.
Márquez broke his humerus in 3 places, came back too soon, fell again, ended up missing most of the season. Some fans, and you know exactly who, celebrated. That's how far things had gone. A man is seriously injured, and part of the sports fan base is happy about it. That's not rivalry anymore. That's tribalism eating itself. But here's the twist, and I promised you a twist. The one person who arguably came out of this rivalry looking the worst wasn't Rossi, and it wasn't Márquez either. MotoGP, the FIM, the promoters, Dorna, let this thing burn 4 years because it was absolutely great for business. Viewership spiked. Social media went ballistic. The sport had a narrative that wrote itself. Every race weekend had extra drama built in before the lights even went out. The institution had every opportunity to step in, issue clear rulings, unify the narrative, protect both athletes from the mob. Instead, they slow-clapped while 2 of the greatest riders of all time tore each other and their fan base apart. It's the sporting equivalent of watching 2 people argue in a restaurant and instead of asking them to stop, the waiter just keeps refilling their drinks. So where does it end? And what does this tell us about MotoGP's future? Especially now that Márquez is at Ducati and the championship is wide open again. Here's what the Rossi-Márquez saga really taught us. In elite sport, the line between rivalry and war isn't drawn by talent, it's drawn by ego, narrative, and the people who profit from both. Rossi was a genius. Márquez is a generational freak of nature, and they gave us some of the most electric moments in motorsport history. But they also showed us exactly what happens when a sport decides drama is more valuable than dignity. The rivalry is technically over. Rossi retired. Marc has moved on, rebuilt, and he's hunting titles at Ducati like nothing happened. But the scar it left on the paddock culture, that's still there. And you might be thinking, okay, who's the next one? Who's the next pair of riders about to explode this sport wide open? We've got a video on exactly that. The new rivalry is brewing right now in MotoGP that nobody's talking about yet. Link's right there. Don't sleep on it. And if you made it this far, you're already a subscriber in spirit. Just make it official. Hit the button. See you in the next one.
There is nowhere for Marquez to go. This is personal. The red